Good evening.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing okay. Doing okay. Well, up your way, you guys are headed into silly season.
Yeah.
Once every 4 years. And there's all this. Although, I wonder what it's going to be like this year. Because regardless of who wins, there's always an inauguration. And usually that's a very big public thing. But this year, it's like, I feel like that's not going to be much of a thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Well, in some ways, that has to be a little bit of a relief. It's like, or if it does turn out that there's not going to be much, like, whew, okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to gear up for all the crazies coming out.
Yeah. I wasn't living out here during the last inauguration, but I don't anticipate me needing to do anything extra, but who knows?
Yeah.
As my character gets more complex and I acquire all these random bags and stuff, man, I gotta be on top of it, man. I gotta figure out several steps in advance of what I'm gonna do because I've got so many options.
Yeah, I had never seen anybody do that with a
the character sheet.
Yeah, with a bag of holding like that, but it's like you say, if you have the stuff from the compendium, it's got all of the weight and everything like that in there, and then if you set up the strength score correctly, it will give you the correct carrying capacity, and then that just kind of lets you know when you have as much in there as it'll fit.
Yeah. It made it. I just updated it right before the game. It only took me about 10 minutes to just throw everything in there, and it was really easy.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you doing that for me.
Yeah. It's like I'll have to remember that. I might start using that in all of my games when somebody gets a bag of holding. Just create a character sheet for it, give it the appropriate strength, and then say, here, just throw all this stuff in there.
Yeah, and you can even, and if you have, if you share it amongst the whole party, everyone can get access to it. You can just share it to everyone, and everyone can throw their stuff in there, and everyone can see, how full it gets and all that.
Hey, Doors of Fear, welcome to the chat.
Oi, mates.
Hey, Chris, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Making sure I had push to talk on. I'll be right back.
All right. Excited for, I think it's Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. When my digital copy of Tasha's releases so I can see everything that's in there.
Yeah, I just Googling it and stuff. I had just found a place where everyone was gathering all the statements that Wizards of the Coast and Crawford and stuff had said, and that's what I was using to base what I was wanting, my questions earlier. So,
well, I have known it to be that there's stuff that gets out and seemingly gets out very close to publication, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be there, this is gonna, this is, and then it's never in there.
Yeah, and it changes.
It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of like the infamous collector's box. Well, it wasn't a collector's box. It was the back in 2006, 2007, one of the expansions of World of Warcraft, where it said it includes, and I honestly think it was just a gag thing by Blizzard, but it says includes the dance studio, and that was one of the things that it said on the box. But of course, there was never a feature in the game called the dance studio. Now, since they released, there were animations where the characters would dance, and every race and gender had its own unique dance in the game. But it made it seem like there was going to be some sort of feature that would play off of that. It never was. And some people were like, but it's on the box. Where is it? It's not in the game, but it's on the box.
That's funny.
So that's why I always say, okay, yeah, the rumor mill says it, and it might well be right. It might well be right, but let's see it in black and white before we. And also because some of the details might be a little different. The feature might be in there, but seeing how it works with everything else, you can see more full details, and then say, oh, well, this is how it would work with this, and it's optimized if you do this and this, and it really hurts you if you wind up doing that and that. So.
Yeah, totally understand.
All right. Oh, I think it is time. I believe it is time. Yes, it is time, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am DM Galabond. It is a Thursday night. It is 8 p.m., and that means it is time for the Sword Coast Chronicles. And tonight on the Discord, I am joined by Chris and Michael and James and Ken. And so I think we have a full house here tonight in the game. And most of us are already in the Roll20. And so to recap what happened last time, the party was in the oh gosh, I'm getting one of those notices that connection to the server has been interrupted, so we may have some of those hiccups tonight. The party was in Waterdeep, and they went to a few shops and ran a few errands, and they spent most of their time sitting at the bar drinking and talking about whether or not they were going to go down in the big yawning portal, the pit in the well in the middle. That. And DM did sort of press them on making a decision one way or the other because it would mean a lot of extra work on the back end for the DM. We could do either one, but I would have to know so I could know which way to go. And with that in mind, we will catch up with our party members as they sit in the tavern at the Yawning Portal at the bar. And before them is the bartender, a man going bald with a handlebar mustache, keeping glasses spotlessly clean, who goes by the name of Durnan. And he says, "Oh, you boys have had a few drinks. Are you going to partake of any food tonight, or are you just going to have a liquid diet this evening? Makes no difference to me."
I have one of your best meals for all my guys here sitting with me.
"Oh, all right. That sounds good." And he goes to the door to the kitchen, opens the door, and you can hear him call out 4 king specials at the bar. And there's a flurry of activity in the kitchen. And now I forgot whether, no, I do remember. We did have Fallisher participate in a contest with some other musicians, and he wound up bringing in quite the nice haul for the evening. And now he is something of a minor celebrity, and there are people that will occasionally come up to the bar and try to engage him in conversation, and seeing you all with him will talk to you. And there's a teenager who looks like he's still got some pimples on his face, and his torso looks a little bit too long and a little bit too skinny. His upper arms are very thick and well muscled, but his forearms look very stringy. He's kind of a mismatched type of person. He's sort of in that awkward phase of growth where you can tell that he's tried to be athletic, but now he's been hit by a growth spurt and it's just thrown everything out of proportion. And he comes up and he says, "Well, hello, sirs. I'm sorry. Hello, sirs. You all look like you might be adventurers. Are you adventuring?"
We get around.
Oh, yeah. I bet you do. Yeah, I figured either you guys were adventurers or you're all bodyguards for the guitar player there. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
What's your story?
My story. Yeah. My name is Ben. BIN, Ben.
Yeah.
And I'm I'm an adventurer too. I'm I'm off to see the world. I am. I'm off to see the world, and gonna gonna make my name famous. I am. Uh, I got a really nice sword here, and he's got a short sword in his belt. And those of you who are in the military can tell that it's probably an heirloom weapon. From the hilt, you can see it looks like it's been kept in very good condition. It's obviously in a sheath, so you can't really see the condition of the blade. But from the style, you would estimate it's probably at least 100 years old. So it's probably been passed down through his family for many generations. And he says, and I bought myself some chainmail, and I've got a horse, and I've got a backpack and some rations, and I'm ready to go out on adventure. Just was wondering if you guys knew what the best direction to go for adventure would be.
It's a nice blade. Who was your father?
Oh, thank you. My father, well, he was in the city guard, like his father before him. My grandfather was a captain in the city guard, and it's said that my grandfather's grandfather was actually a noble, but he fell on hard times, and he had to sell his estate and sell his title so that his family wouldn't starve. But we've been loyal to Waterdeep. I mean, we've been loyal to Waterdeep the whole time. We have. Nobody can say that we haven't.
What does your father think of you going off and adventuring?
Well, of course he wants me to be a guard like he was, and like his father was, and like his grandfather was. But grandfather was a captain, and my father's only he's only a corporal. He's not even a sergeant. So I don't know. I don't see where being a guard is gonna make a name for anybody. I mean, if we wanna have our, if we want to find a way to get our title back, we're not going to do it by just being a family that guards the city all the time. We got to make a name for ourselves. We got to find a treasure and vanquish some evildoers and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's not worth getting yourself killed either, young man.
He is just as much in the city.
There's always something you got yourself up to in the city.
At least if you're outside the city, you're making your own decisions.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Making my own decisions. And being able to make a name. Now I've heard some stories, and I don't know if you've heard any of these stories either. I heard some stories that up north, an area called the Somber Hills. It's maybe a 10-day or more to the north. There's been some people go missing, and there's been some strange occurrences. People say the weather is kind of weird up there, and they say that monsters are attacking people. I thought maybe I'd go as far as Red Larch, and
I just want to do. Chris did an insight check. I was going to run an insight check on this kid, see how truthful he is. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20? Okay. With a dirty 20, he seems earnest. He seems to fully believe everything that he's telling you. He says, yeah, there's people gone missing, monsters attacking, whatnot. I thought maybe I'd go as far as Red Larch, see if I can find out anything there in that town, and then maybe there's something that is going on that I can help to stop. And maybe I meet some other adventurers, and I could help them with my blade.
How old are you, kid?
Me? I'll be 16 next month.
How did
Boy,
you
I
come
say,
up-
boy, you've about as sharp as a throw pillow. Why don't you join the army? That way you can get some discipline and some training, and you don't go out there by yourself and get yourself killed. As Fellas here takes a drink of his beer.
Oh well, Mister, you play that guitar really well, but I'm pretty good with my sword. I'll have you know. My papa taught me how to use a sword. I can use it.
Hey, Brock.
Who is your father?
Okay, now I have to find it.
Damn, that about to get deep.
What is his father's name?
While he's doing that, I was going to say, hey, Brock, you
garbage
might want to
bin
take
or
this boy garbage bin. No,
recycle
I was
bin?
going to say, hey, Brock, you might want to take the boy outside and see what he knows, because I have an idea. But go see what he knows.
I have an idea too, and I don't think it needs going outside for.
Yeah. Well, before we do that, Ben, how did you come about this knowledge of the going-ons and the Somber Hills? You said
The Somber Hills. Yeah. Well, I just talked to people here in the Yawning Portal. This is where you come to get all the news about everything that's happening everywhere. People like to drink and they like to talk, and you got to be careful. You hear something from one person, you don't know whether it's true, but you hear it from 10 different people, and if they're not all the same kind of people, I mean, you talk to people that look like they're rich, you talk to people that look like they're poor, you talk to people that look like they travel, you talk to people that look like they're from the city, and you hear the same thing enough times, well, it's probably true. And so I've been spending every evening. Don't tell Turnin. I drink like mostly water, but I'll buy one beer just to make sure that he has a little coin for me. But don't tell him. But I've been spending every night for a 10-day here, and I heard these rumors about the north. Then I heard rumors about stuff going on in the south too. I heard that there's towns been burned, and some people say towns been burned by dragons. And I'm not sure I'm ready to fight a dragon just yet, but maybe if there's bandits, I can do something about them. Oh, and somebody asked about the father's name. he says, "Well, I'm Ben Mossmore, and my father is Arvin Mossmore, or Arvin Mossmore, and there's a street up in the north of the city, called Mossmore Court, and it said that was named after our family."
Fuck off with that shit.
What?
What?
No, my internet. I'm sorry. I'm having some difficulties over here, guys. I don't know if you can tell. You guys, I'm literally freezing up and I can't hear anything anyone's saying. I didn't.
Oh Lord.
We heard your laugh.
I'm getting pretty aggravated over here. I'm sure you can tell. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Okay.
Does that? I mean, I'm not from around here, but I'll make a history check. I've never heard of that place. I guess.
I would like to do that as well, unless there's another roll.
Yeah, you would probably, if you guys are not from Waterdeep, it would probably take a lot. And like he said, it's a small street called Mossmore Court. So, but yeah, you're welcome to do that.
Is that a history check you need?
Yeah, if you wish. A 21.
My rolls are even laggy. What the hell is happening?
Well, Falliger, okay, and with a 20, Brock, yeah, you would remember this too. You remember when you came in to the city, when you were getting paid by the people that had employed you on the trip up from Baldur's Gate. You remember seeing a sign that had an arrow pointing and the name Mossmore, but you couldn't swear to it that it said Mossmore Court or something. But yeah, there was something. There was something with the name Mossmore. So seems like it definitely is a name that fits Waterdeep.
Listen, kid, I don't know if you're cut out for this kind of life, especially without friends with like minds. But if you'd like, I can take that blade off you and make a name for it.
No, this is handed down in the family. It was meant for me. There's a blade that goes to every other generation.
Could I at least look at it closely?
He kind of eyes you suspiciously now.
I'm an honorable man. I show my coat of arms on my shoulder, just like yourself.
You can trust him, boy.
And he says, "Well, all right, my lord." And he unlimbers the short sword and pulls it out. And in the way he hands it over, you can tell he's been trained how to handle a weapon properly, because he hands it to you in such a way that he lets you get your hand on the pommel without, getting his fingers all over the blade and everything like that. And, he's careful in the way he hands it over.
Study the pommel and run my fingers along the blade, give it a nice look over, and then I'll hand it to Mulek. Just wanted my friend to take a look at it just for a moment.
Well, from your examination and with your background, you would be able to tell it's very well balanced. And yes, it's an old blade, but this blade has been kept in very good condition, and it's very sharp. So it gets sharpened on a regular basis, you would imagine, and it seems like it's a masterwork blade. So it's a very finely made well-balanced, finely crafted weapon.
Yeah, it looks good to me. I would need a knight with this weapon to be able to tell you anything more. But yeah, it looks like a good weapon.
Osier leans over and maybe someday, son, you'll be worthy of that blade. But I still think you ought to join the army. If you think you're so good, you need to prove yourself and get a little bit of experience, if you will. You know, I was green like you once. Wanted to go out and tackle the world, but I had to shovel many a nights in the horse chambers and the stalls, and let me tell you, shit stinks here just like it stinks anywhere else. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you did, and you, like I said, you're really good. You're a really good player there, sir. And now, Mulek, do you give the weapon back after you look at it?
Oh yeah, I didn't even really hold it for that long. Yeah,
Okay.
I took just a quick glance and pass it on.
Okay, so he takes it back and he puts it back in the blade and in the scabbard. He says, "Well, I know something's going on up north, 'cause tonight I've heard the same story now 5 nights in a row, and from 3 different people that are here tonight. Do you know that there was a have you ever seen a dragonborn? You know what a dragonborn is? They're like they walk on 2 legs, but they got a head like a dragon.
Yes, we're aware. What color?
Does an owlbear shit in the woods?
What color is the dragonborn you saw?
I didn't see it, but I heard that a 10-day ago, a black dragonborn rode out of the north gates with 8 people, all dressed in cloaks, looking mysterious like, and they went up the road. And in that 10-day, I hear about all these things happening. I wonder if that dragonborn's behind it.
What kind of things happened?
Well, like I said, people gone missing, and monsters attacking towns, weather going strange. That's what they say, at least.
And you want to go up there and investigate. Is that right?
Well, I want to go up there, find out what's behind it, and stop it. Make a name for myself. Doing one heroic thing won't get you a title or enough money to become a noble, but if you make a whole career out of doing stuff, then maybe by the time I'm 40, I could have an estate of my own and could be well, maybe I could get my family's title back and the Mossmores could be a noble family again.
You go north, you're going to die a lot sooner than 40, my friend.
Worse than that, your family name will no longer exist.
And he thinks about that. He says, well, I got this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sisters. That won't do any good. Well, which way are you all headed?
If you
Right
keep
now.
bugging us, I ain't going to be as far away from you. Damn.
Right now, we're not going anywhere. We're just enjoying our night here.
Oh, well. Well, people say that the Blackstaff put some treasure down that well. And he points to the well in the middle of the room. Maybe if I can't go north, maybe I can go down.
Yeah, I think that's more of a team effort, not a solo effort.
Oh, a team. Hey, that's a great idea.
Listen, friend, I was interested in that will myself. I'd love to go down there, to be honest with you, but I have business that I have to attend to. Tell you what, you get in with the guard, get some practice in. When I get back here soon, we'll go down together, yeah?
Really?
Really. As long as you can prove you can, wield that sword capably. Sure.
Okay, mister.
Brock, you shouldn't encourage him.
A man's got to have some kind of goal in mind, yeah?
Hell, he ain't even a man yet.
No, I don't know. Do we want to see what he can do?
I mean, do we really need to tag along? I mean, if he says he can wield the blade, why don't you see if he can wield the blade?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't want to be no goddamn babysitter.
But if the boy can hold his own, we ain't babysitting him.
Worst case scenario, he dies and I take the blade off of him.
Listen, if he rolls with us, I'm duty bound to protect him. I don't want that on my conscience.
We'll be a babysitter then, yeah?
The boy wants to look for adventure. I think we all were that way. I mean, we're on an adventure now. I mean, it's up to Fallinger, Brock. I mean, Mulek, what do you think? I mean, maybe he could be helpful. He's small. He can get in places we can't get to, maybe, and nobody knows him.
It's no man's place to tell another man he can't.
That's why I'm just saying, it's if he wants to go with us, he needs to show us that he can, protect himself. Give us a good reason why we should allow him to come with us.
I mean, we always need someone to pack up things, take care of the travel animals, and take care of armor and swords and whatnot. I mean, maybe he could be an apprentice, but as far as fighting, I don't know.
Wait. Are any of you a knight?
Just looks at the floor.
Yes, sir. Yes, son, I am.
If you're a knight, I could be a squire.
At least we'll make you a babysitter, Fallinger.
This little speep squeak. I am not making him my apprentice.
Come on.
That's the funniest shit I've heard all
night. You're good with a sword, Fallinger. Why not?
Help you.
Why do you arm wrestle for it?
Son, where we're going to have a dance with death.
Dance with death? And then he narrows his eyes and he looks at Dorzafir and he says, not Dorzafir, Thaldor. He looks at Thaldor and he says, you said you were on an adventure. Just tell me a little bit about what you've seen, please.
Well, no, kid. What I said was, when we were your age, we all thought about going on a grand adventure. And as of now, we've adventured I came from Phandalin and I'm here with my friends. I mean, it's always life's an adventure, man. But like I said,
hold on one second. Speaking out of character real quick, Galamon, is there a specific place that the tattoo of the cult is usually located, like a wrist, a neck, or anything, or is it just random?
You've seen it kind of on their wrist a bit. They wear those. They tend to wear those bracers on their wrist, and usually they have the tattoo underneath where they wear the bracer.
I'm gonna reach out and grab his hand and slide his sleeve back if he has any.
Hey! And you slide his sleeve back, and he doesn't have any tattoos on that arm.
I apologize, just making sure.
How do you feel about being branded?
What?
Oh my God.
Branded?
That's right. You want to be my apprentice, son? You got to get the mark.
Branded?
And
I look over at Fallinger and just give him a look, and I'm like, "Are you really like?" I don't say this. I'm thinking, and I look over at him, like, "Are you really going to talk about branding this kid?"
There's 7 marks you got to earn, and they all burn.
Willing to take a branding, he's willing to travel with us. That's a good deal.
I agree.
I'm just going to sit back and laugh and drink my ale.
Branded? That's barbaric. What are you guys? Are you guys slavers?
It's called commitment.
That's right. And anybody sees that brands and the rest of those brands you'll be earning, they never question you, never give you a dirty look. Again in your life, you'll have respect, fame, and fortune.
Take it or leave it.
Is that what it takes? Getting branded?
Hurts so bad you faint.
And he kind of looks a little green when you say that. And he says, I gotta think about that. And then about the time that he says that, the doors to the Yawning Portal open, and there is a very proper looking common woman. She's certainly no noble, but she's wearing good quality clothes for a commoner. She's maybe 6 feet 4 inches tall, and she's a human, and she probably weighs around 400 pounds.
Oh my God. Wow.
Very, very large woman. And she has her hair up in a bun, and it's kind of steel gray hair. And she opens the door, and she just sort of scans the room a little bit, and then her eyes fall on Ben, who's talking to you. And with this voice that carries across the entire tavern, she says, "Binwin Mossmore, you come here right now." And his eyes just go wide, and he says, "Coming, mother." And he turns and he scampers over towards her, and then as he gets there, she just is giving him this very stern look. "What have I told you about coming to places like this?" And she grabs him by the ear, and she starts to walk back away. And as they're disappearing, she says, "I told you never to come to places like this. This place is full of ill repute, and that horrible Volo is here, and he will fill your mind with all sorts of trash." And sort of disappears and goes on out the across the plaza.
Well, I guess that answers that. Why he wanted to go adventuring. He'll grow up.
We've all been there.
Well, maybe he gave us some good intel, at the very least.
10 days north, Somber Hills. And it sounds like our Dragonborn friend is headed that way.
Sounds like our Dragonborn friend is always in front. We're going to eventually have to overtake him.
Thank God his mother showed up. I thought I was really going to have to brand him. That boy is a burrito short of a combination plate.
What kind of brand were you going to give him, Fallinger?
Well, I was going to try to trick him, I think. Get a get a brand nice and freezing cold, and then just make him lean over and put it on his back. Maybe it'd freak him out. Nah, I'm kidding. I'd really brand him.
Well, what do you guys think? We've got this warehouse up north full of all the cultist wagons. We know they're probably going to be heading up north. We've got this information. Seems like the best course of action would be to keep watch on that warehouse, see if we can see any departures, or maybe we just start heading north. I don't know. What do you think?
Now, where did he say he named some hills? What was that name?
Somber Hills.
We got a map we can get a hold of to see where that's at.
I have a map that has the wagon course anyway. I don't know if it has that far north, does it, Gully?
No, we don't have the.
Let's see. Let me
caravan route map doesn't go that high.
That we have. Okay.
I also have the Outlander background, so if I've been there before, I know it pretty well.
Okay, let me see. All right, I wanna.
I'm from up north as well, so I don't know if I would know where the Somber Hills are or not.
Let me do this. I think I can do this. And then I will go here, and I will go here. And I'll put this in here. And yes, all right. So we can save the changes and show to everybody. Okay, now you guys will have to enlarge this on your own and look at it. But yes, let me see. Where is this? Okay, this map is it has it on here, but it's very small. The Somber Hills. Well, if you find Waterdeep on the map, and I'm gonna use my arrow on the other screen to show the stream. If you find Waterdeep and you go a little bit northwest from Waterdeep, you'll see there's a town called Red Larch, and to the east of that is a hilly area. That's the Somber Hills, and you'll see there's something on the map called Stonebridge. Yeah.
So north, that's like northeast of Waterdeep then.
Yeah, northeast of Waterdeep.
Upriver or down? That's upriver, right?
Upriver.
Yeah.
Well,
and you know that. Oh well, you don't know. Yeah.
What would be the best way to get there, boys? Is to take the river, or I imagine going by land would be too slow.
Well, it depends on which direction the river's flowing.
If we were to take the road, we'd be more noticed, I think.
The river flows from the north,
so probably out to sea,
and empties out to sea just south of Waterdeep. So, yeah, the river.
You'd be going against the current.
Upriver. Well, there are boats. There are river boats that go up and down. There's some towns along the river where there's trade. So it's that kind of thing. I'm gonna say that you guys probably know enough that there's a lot of the large rivers near the things. Remember, like that river that you took to come down to Baldur's Gate from El Terrell?
Yeah.
It's very similar to that in terms of being a river that there's trade on. So,
Well, I
Could we
figured
beat them
taking their. Well, it'd be faster going by the river, I imagine, and safer. Might have to worry about bandits or anything else as far as camping goes.
But you think we'd beat them?
I mean, I doubt we'd beat them.
I don't
Boy
think
said
we-
He said it 10 days ago. That's quite a while.
we beat the caravan, however, which should be our goal, I believe.
Yeah, we definitely beat the caravan.
They've got enough gold to do that, though.
Speaking of the caravan, the only reason we've sat along with them is to find their destination. If we know the destination, there's no reason why we don't halt the caravan here, is there?
Well, we don't know if the Somber Hills is the final destination.
Well, maybe we can get that out of the cold, dead corpse of that dragonborn.
That would send up big red flags.
And if the Dragonborn's up there, some of those other leaders might be up there, and I'm interested in locating a particular one half elf.
Well, we get up there sooner and allow us to do some perusing around the area and give us plenty of time to just get on the main road and wait for the caravan to pass through. If they go further north, then they keep going. But oh hell, we ought to beat them by at least 2 days, I imagine, or more.
Conversation I had with that dragonborn. He seems the type that if he's meeting his end, I believe he'll spill the beans, if you will. So again, if we know where we're going from here, there's no reason why that caravan has to follow us.
Should we inquire first thing tomorrow on finding a passage north on the river?
Yeah, I reckon. They trade up and down that river all the time, I imagine. Shouldn't be too hard.
Just need to find us a damn good captain that can get us there quick.
Well, it don't need to be no damn cargo boat, that's for sure. It needs to be something a little bit faster.
I've got some business I'd like to take care of down at the near the ports. Maybe we could find some captains down there that trade up and down the river.
Honestly, if we steal some horses, we might be even faster and we'll slow the caravan down. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Steal some horses. Do you know who the hell you're talking to?
You saw that code legal. Brock, what's gotten in your head?
Well, it's stealing from the right people, if that makes any sense.
In this town, it doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong. You steal anyways, and they catch you, we're screwed.
Yeah, you said it. If they catch me.
Besides, that'd go against my code of ethics.
I can understand that, sure.
I might have a mixed moral code, but I'm not stupid to break law in Waterdeep.
Hell, I'd like to break loose a little bit from moral reality, but sometimes you're just asking for too much trouble.
I think we need to book passage on a ship or a schooner or whatever going north and get there before the caravan does. And I guess we can take Tag along with us.
Yeah.
What say ye?
I'm all for it. We find out what's trading north, and a good captain with a fast boat. That'd be our meal ticket.
Hell, might make a coin or two along the way if Aliger plays his guitar.
If our boy's father's who he says he is, he might have some connections.
That I didn't think about.
That boy's father's dead. Didn't you pay attention?
if I said if that boy's father is who he says he is, he might have some connections. So the boy might have his father's connections, if you catch my drift.
Oh yeah. You want to go talk to his mother?
Didn't mind it. If it gets us to where we're going.
Well, hell, I'd like to see that.
I won't
Me
stop
too.
you.
Valor takes a drink of his ale.
I clink glasses with Alligator Mulek. Let's watch this.
If we don't do that, then we're to walk the docks and spread our word amongst who knows who, and who's going to be that person. It's not me.
Well, I don't want to split up.
Talking.
I think we should stay together from here on out. It's only going to get more dangerous.
What time is it, by the way?
It is getting close to midnight, if not after midnight.
Yeah, it's getting late. We should probably make arrangements to stay the night, and first thing head out to the docks. See what we can find out.
Sounds good to me.
Do they got rooms in this place?
And Darnan says, "Yeah, we got rooms. You want dorms where you get a bunk and you share a room with 12 people? That'll cost you silver. You want a semi-private room where you got 2 beds, 2 people? Oh, that'll cost you 5 silver. You want a room to yourself? That'll cost you a gold."
We'll take 2 rooms with 2 beds each.
Okay. 1 gold for both of them. You want 3rd floor or you want 4th floor?
Which one do you prefer? Which one's more quiet?
Well, it'll get a little quieter around 3 a.m., but thing about the portal never closes.
All right, but they got to be right next to each other. That's all I care about.
Okay. Well, I can put you on the 3rd floor, down at the end of the hall, two adjoining rooms.
All righty, and fellas, you'll slide a gold coin and an extra gold coin just because of good manners.
Okay, and he gives you 2 keys, and he thanks you for the gold, and he says, "Kitchen never closes, but the actual breakfast food will start being cooked around an hour before sunrise. Probably the best time to have breakfast is before the end of the first hour after sunrise, because then it starts to fill up a little bit. People that went home long enough to sleep off their hangover and come in and start on the next one."
Damn, boys. How about have enough for one day?
Well, all right. And if y'all are planning to stay in Waterdeep any amount of time, you're mighty good with that guitar. You're welcome to play here, and based on what I heard tonight, I might even be able to clear a whole evening for you if you wanna if you want the stage to yourself.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And he nods, and then I guess you guys can. Are you all just going to go up and we pick up with the next morning? Or is there anything you guys want to do this evening before?
Me looks okay to just go hit the hay. It's pretty late.
Okay. Salador, Brock,
I'm
Fellinger.
good just to crash.
Okay. All right. Well, you sleep through the night, and everything is fine, and you wake up the next morning, and all of your possessions are still in your room with you. Doors are still locked the way you had them. Windows are still in the same condition you left them. And it seems like this is a well-run, tidy sort of inn. And as you wake up, you do notice that the aroma of breakfast is wafting up to catch your noses.
Might as well grab a bite before we head out, gents.
Okay.
I'll pay for breakfast.
All right, so you guys head down, and the common room is not entirely empty, but the patrons are spread out a lot more than they were the night before, much sparser. Durnan is behind the bar, and he looks just as fresh as he did the night before. Looks like he's wearing, you would swear that he's wearing exactly the same clothes that he had on. They look nice and clean, and come to think of it, they looked nice and clean last night too. So he's there. He says, "Morning, gentlemen. You all sleep well?"
It's good for me.
It was great. It was lovely, nice and quiet.
Well, good. Well, good. We aim to please here.
Beds weren't too bad.
Good. Good. Yep. Yeah. And the semi-private rooms, they're good quality. Now, of course, if you want the full feather mattresses and the goose down pillows, that's in the private rooms. And then if you want the really, really fine accommodations, we do have a couple of suites up on the west side of the fourth floor. But that's you boys didn't look like you were interested in that. Mostly the folk that use those are, newlyweds and people that are getting away for some special time with someone they care about. You boys just look like a bunch of old adventurers. Successful ones, but adventures nonetheless.
I appreciate the compliment.
All right, so you have your breakfast. Good breakfast. Nice variety of food. You can order what you want off of their menu, and they have coffee or hot tea, and they have several different varieties of fruit juices. And then when you finish with breakfast, did I hear you guys say you were headed to the dock ward?
Yes, Bulick's got some business down near that area, and then we want to look for a boat.
Yep, bright and early.
Okay. All right. You start heading down towards the dock ward. And as you get within a few blocks, you can smell the salt air from the harbor. And as you get a little closer, other odors begin to come to your nostrils. The sort of the faint odor of raw sewage that kind of hangs in the air down here. The odor of rotting fish is also in the air. And there's tall, densely packed tenements that are in this area. They leave most of this part of the city in shadow at ground level. You can see that there are street lamps, but the glass on the street lamps has been shattered, and where there probably were, either like oil lanterns or perhaps large candles, those have been removed. And salt air and that light sewage scent as you pass down rows of rundown buildings. And you had heard about a specific place, and someone gave you the name of Zastro Street. And
I'm gonna keep my eye open for the old Zoblob shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that was the place you were looking for.
Yes.
So they had told you something about Zastro Street, and so you find that and you begin going. And as you see the sign where Zastro Street crosses Fillet Lane, you notice a shop that has a peculiar window display. This shop stands out from the others. It has a deep purple facade, and in its window hangs a stuffed beholder. Above the door hangs a sign whose elaborate letters spell out Old Zoblob Shop.
Hey guys, I need to make a quick pit stop in here. You're welcome to join me in here or just wait outside. It should only take a few minutes.
Hey, I'll come in with you. This place is weird.
I'll roll.
All right, so we'll go inside.
Okay. As you open the door, a cloud of lavender-scented purple smoke billows out of the shop's door, and a bell suspended above the door chimes. The walls inside here are painted purple, and every dusty knickknack on the shelves is dyed a deep violet. There's a hairless old gnome sitting cross-legged on the counter, and he's wearing plum-colored robes. His cheeks are decorated with 9 purple face-painted eyes. And he is smoking an elaborate pipe, which the bowl of which looks like it's as big around as his entire hand. And if you stood the pipe up on its end, it probably would be about half of the gnome's height. So he pulls that pipe out of his mouth, and he blows a little stream of lavender smoke, and then he sort of puckers his lips and he blows 3 lavender smoke rings. And he says, "Hail and well met. Come browse the shelves of the most curiosity shop in the world."
Good morning. Good morning, my friend. My name is Mulik. I was sent this.
Mulik.
Good morning. I was sent this way from one Halius. He mentioned that you might be able to assist me with something.
Oh, old Holly has sent you. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. He's a fine fellow. How is he doing?
Oh, he's doing fine. He's doing fine. He unfortunately couldn't help me, and so thus he sent me your way. And so,
Oh,
I've-
okay.
I've got an item that I came upon, and I'm looking to sell it. I was wondering if you might be interested. And as I say this, I reach into my bag of holding and I pull out the crown of forest and hand it out towards him. Is this something that
And,
you would be willing to purchase?
and he uses the stem of his pipe and he just taps on the counter and he says, "Just set it down there, my friend."
I'll set it down.
Can I
and
do
then
a
Go ahead.
the eyes on his face? Are they of some kind of religious thing, or
You can make a check. I would let you do a. What would this fall under? You could try a religion check. Yeah, you could also try. Let's just see what are the. Uh, Let me pull up somebody's character sheet here. Okay. I just want to take a look at what the list of skills are. I'd let you do a religion, or you could probably do a. Would that really? Okay, I'll let you take your pick. Religion, history, or survival.
I'll do survival.
Okay.
Ooh.
I was gonna say I got a 25 on history.
I'm going to use guidance on myself because it seems important.
Okay. Guidance, and you add a D4.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. So total of 16, or a 25 of history. Yeah. Thaldor. Now wait a minute. Thaldor, did you go in or did you stay?
Yeah, I went in the shop.
Okay. All right, because I thought somebody said they were staying outside.
Yeah, Thaldor and Falliser both said they wanted to come in.
Okay. Then I may have misheard. So, Thaldor. Yeah, something that you heard about last night rings an alarm bell in your head. 9 painted eyes, and the you notice kind of the way they are arranged around his face. They are arranged in the same sort of pattern as you would expect to find the 9 eye stalks on a beholder. And you were told last night by your former adventuring companion, Jamna Gleamsilver, that there is a beholder that calls itself the Xanathar, that kind of is a strong power in the criminal underworld of Waterdeep.
Well, as long as you don't really realize who I am, I think we should be okay.
Okay. All right. So then this gnome this gnome looks at you and looks at Mulek, I should say. And he says, gosh, they actually put this guy in there and they didn't give him a name. So now I have to go find a name for him, which is annoying.
I whisper over to Mulek while he's not paying attention, while the guy the gnome guy's not paying attention. I was like, hey, he's not on the up and up. We knew that coming in here. Be careful what you say and what you do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And he looks at that, and then he looks back up at Mulek, and he looks back at the crown, and he looks back up at Mulek, and then kind of a slow, sly smile plays on his face. And he takes a long drag on his pipe, and he just sort of blows a few lavender smoke rings, and he says, "You say this came into your hands. Now, come on. Did it come into your hands, or did you take it into your hands, if you know my meaning?"
Okay, we were involved in a battle. We were jumped by some people outside of town. We protected ourselves, and this was on one of the bodies.
Oh, this was. Well, I don't suppose you know what this is, do you?
Well, I'm able to ascertain that it's got some magical properties, illusions, making one believe illusions are real.
Yes, making people believe illusions are real. Yes, it is. Now, to some, they might think that's a cursed item because it can be used to fool people. But I have some clientele that might find a piece like this very interesting. Very interesting indeed. And I would be willing to give you 40 gold for it.
Oh, surely it's worth more than pieces.
Well,
what the hell does it do?
This Fallager is okay. Yeah, Fallager is in the shop, and he says, "Well, sir, if I were practiced in the art of illusion, and I could use my pipe here to blow a smoke ring that looked like a fire-breathing dragon." And as he blows a smoke ring, you can actually see that it sort of just briefly kind of alters its form, and it takes on kind of a sinuous look with what seems to be like kind of wings, but then it starts to dissipate. He says, "If I had that ability and you were wearing that crown, I could make you believe it was a real dragon." That's what that crown does to people who wear it. That's why some people say it's cursed. Makes you fall for any sort of tomfoolery that somebody would try to trick you with. Now, you are welcome to try to go to other merchants and try to sell this as a valuable magical item. And if any merchant buys it from you and discovers what it actually does, they may be inclined to report you to the City Watch because they might think you were trying to trick them.
I'm not trying to sell this as something not. I'm trying to sell this to someone who understands the true value of what this is. And if 40 gold pieces is all that you're willing to offer, I'd rather just keep the item.
Well, you drive a hard bargain there. Let me tell you, how much were you hoping to get for it?
Oh, I'm looking for at least 300.
Son, I know people in this town who could make me 4 of those for 100 gold.
Well,
Why would
hell,
I pay 300 for it?
Well, I guess that's my answer then.
yeah. Well, hell, now we know it's valuable. Let's get the hell out of here.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate your time. If I need any other, got any other questions or other items I'm interested, I'll keep you in mind.
Very well. Come back and see us sometime soon.
And Mulek walks out.
And he just sort of chuckles to himself as you all walk out, and he just blows more smoke rings. And yeah, so if anybody stayed out in the alleyway, when the door opens up again, another cloud of lavender scented purple smoke comes out, and these guys walk out, and you guys will probably have the scent of lavender on you for the next day, as thick as the smoke is inside that shop.
Well, it could be worse, I guess. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to waste your time. Let's go see if we can find us a boat.
I think he was full of shit. That's just me.
It's clearly worth more than what he was wanting.
Well, and as we were in that shop, I started to realize, there may be a use yet for this item. I think it's worth holding on to. And I throw it back in my bag of holding.
Okay.
All right, let's go find us a boat.
Okay. And so you head down to the you head down to the docks, and there's let's see, did I put a thing with the city of Waterdeep? I did put a thing in the city of Waterdeep in here. Okay, so let me move us over to the city, and I will show us where we are. So you guys, you guys have been down in this area here, and so you come out to the docks.
I didn't see a ping.
Oh, So you come out to the docks around right here.
Okay.
And you notice that you're at the Great Harbor, and just you see down to the south where it opens out into the main ocean, and then there's not really the river right here. The river actually is a little bit to the south of the city. You actually kind of have to go. You actually have to kind of go out this southeast area of the dock or of the harbor, and then go into the mouth of the river and go upstream from there. So you'll find that the farther to the north and west you go, the larger the ships are, and those clearly look like deep-hulled, multiple-mast ocean-going vessels. And then as you come more to the south and the east, you get kind of over into this area here. You begin to see a lot more of the smaller, flat-bottom, single-masted riverboats that are there. And some of them do have like enclosed structures built on the deck, but most of them have a shallow draft, and most of them also look like they're made for carrying cargo up and down the river. And you see there's a bunch of different people that are dockmasters that are working, in longshoremen that are hauling cargo to and from some of the ships and running in and out of some of the warehouses there. And there's a customs fellow that is there, and he's talking to a halfling. And the halfling is saying, "Well, sir, I think that my cargo manifest is all in order. Would you say so?" And the man looks at it and says, "Yes, yes. I do believe so. Oh, I do believe so, Captain Osner. So, you are. Where is your destination?" "Well, sir, I'm bound upriver, and I'll be going as far as oh gosh, I'll be going as far as, come on, I will be going to the. I'll be going as far as Yartar. Oh, Yartar. Well, it seems like you are bound up there with some, with mainly perishables. Yes, sir. Taking some fruits from the south up to the north, and their first crops of the peppers should be ready by the time I get there, and I'll be bringing the peppers back to the south." And the dockmaster says, "Oh, wonderful." And he says, "If I recall, you're very partial to the ice peppers, are you not?" And he looks and he says, "Oh, Captain, Captain Osmer. Yes. In fact, my wife uses those in cooking one of my favorite dishes. Ah, well, then I'll get an extra pound of the ice peppers and bring them back just for you. And the fellow says, "Oh, well, wonderful." Uh, and he pulls out a quill and he signs his name on a manifest. And he says, "Well, there you go, Captain Osner. I think you're all in order. Everything looks good. You can leave whenever you are ready." And he says, "Oh, well, thank you, Doc Master." And he looks at the manifest, folds it up, and starts to put it in a pocket as you guys are walking up.
Hey guys, we want to hitch a ride with this. We can hitch a ride with this guy. He's going our.
On the way we need him to go. How much does he want for passage?
I don't know, Fallager. You want to see if we can get us a good deal?
What?
This halfling fellow, he's about to leave. He's headed our way. Think we can hitch a ride? You want to see if we can give us a lift?
Why don't we just ask him?
That's what I'm saying. I'm asking you to go ask him.
Oh. Well, hell. All right. Fellas, here. Moseys on over to the halfling.
And he looks up and he sees you all and he says, "Ah, top of the morning, gentlemen."
Top of the morning. Well, let me cut to the chase, friend. You're going where we need to get, and we're willing to pay you to get there.
Going where you need to get. Oh, you're headed upriver.
That's right.
Oh.
You think you can give us a smooth transition upriver?
Well, how many of you are there?
There's just 4 of us.
Just 4 of us. And do you have any animals you're bringing, or is it just people?
Well, I need to bring my horse Rusty.
Bring your horse.
Oh, you have a horse? Look over at Fallager, your horse?
Yeah, he's back at the stables.
Oh. Well, hope he's at the dock stables. Because I just got my manifest, and as soon as I can get my mate and my crew to cast off, we will be off. Now, my boat, she's quite a fine boat. She is okay. What are some other things? What the hell am I looking at? I'm looking at ship boat names. Okay, come on here, you. Okay, my boat is the current seeker. Captain Author. Boat is called the current seeker. Okay, there you go. And we are headed up to Yartar. Now, we'll be making a couple of stops along the way, but she's built more for speed than comfort. So, hope you guys will have your own bedrolls, and you'll need to have feed for your horse, because frankly, I'm carrying a cargo that is edible, but it's bound for sale for people. And I won't take too kindly to my passenger's horse rooting around and helping itself to some of the cargo. So you'll need to make sure you have enough feed. Our journey will take maybe a total of 10 days to get up there, but if you stay all the way to Yartar, if you decide to get off earlier, that's fine. As long as you make sure that there's no animal droppings left on the deck of my boat, and you don't eat up any of the cargo, I'll just charge each of you a gold piece a day. And if you help out with some of the work on the boat, I can cut that in half and charge you 5 silver a day.
Sounds fair. I'll send for my horse if you don't mind waiting just a little 10 minutes or whatever it takes.
Okay. Out of character, where did you are the stables like near the Yawning Portal where you would stable him, or?
Right.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. We'll say 15 minutes. All right. So he says, well, we're going to shove off in a half hour. If I'll give you a half hour. If you all can be ready then, you can come with me. If you can't be ready then, well, I'm sorry. I'll have to leave without you, but I won't charge you anything. Payment for the first day is due at sundown.
I'll pay him in advance. How many days till we get to our destination before he gets to his?
Well, that kind of depends on the speed of the boat. Let us take a quick peek.
Because I don't mind paying for everybody, and especially I think depending on our trip, I think we can help him out a little bit, depending on what we're doing on the boat to kill time.
Yeah, so I would have when he would have made the 10-day to Yartar. We're getting off before then, so hopefully that will only be maybe 8 days or so to the stone bridge.
Let me go ahead and pull up this thing. So you guys are here in Waterdeep, and the River Destrin goes up here, and Yartar is here. So it'll take 10 days to get from here to here. So what you will find out is that there's several towns along the way. There's like 3 towns where he's going to stop before he gets to Yartar, and where he'll pull in basically to do some minor trading.
So we would have asked him, are you familiar with the stone bridge?
Oh, well, of course. It's the biggest landmark on the river.
So about how many days do you think it'll take you to get to that location, including all your stops and stuff?
Oh, I would say we'll be there like by the 7th day.
Okay. I look around to the other guys. I don't mind helping.
About that time, you see his horse coming down the dock, and you guys have seen him, but I'm sure this Ostner's face is going to be quite priceless when he catches a load of this.
Okay.
And this big old Ardenian warhorse just walking down.
Yeah.
Oh God, I forgot your horse is that big. Jesus.
Out of character. we'll just say that this is the breed that my family's famous for, and coveted all over the land.
Gold a day just for the horse.
Here he is, and hey boy, how you doing? And he just kind of like pats him on his side of one of his strong legs. You ready for an adventure?
I do you better than that. I've got 4 platinum on me. That's 10 gold a piece. How about this? That's 40 gold, and there's 4 of us. That's more than enough for the trip. That'll be extra for the horse. And I'll look at the guy and I'll go, hey, look. I go up to him, hold your hand out.
Okay, he does.
Okay, I do this. You take care of us. We'll help out on the ship a little bit, whatever we can do. All right, just make sure we're fed good. Make sure, we're not bothered too much. And here, I throw all 4 platinum in his hand. And that's for that big thing right there, too. Just, this should cover everything.
Okay. One of the things he mentioned before, just as a quibble about what you were asking, one of the things he said before is that you all would have to supply your own food because, it's not really a passenger ship, and they have food for the crew, but they don't really carry food. So, like, if
I'm handing the man ration, I'm handing him 4 platinum. I'm saying, look, you've got 15 minutes before this barge takes off. Cover us here. Here's 4 platinum. Take care of it.
Hey, some of these goods and vegetables you have on board?
I think I just paid for them.
We just paid quadruple price for them.
You also know that we're not capable of feeding everybody easily off the land. So there's that as well.
True. But I just think, one, it's not that big a deal because we got to get there. So I was like, look, this was, y'all didn't know this, but this was dirty money anyways. So I just want to get rid of it. Y'all didn't know where I got, you're probably wondering where the hell Taldor got 4 platinum. It's like, here, look, buddy, here's 4 platinum. This takes care of the horse. This takes care of me and my buddies. And like Fallinger said there, whatever food, we won't take much. It's just us 4. I'll make sure the horse has its feed, but this is just for us. Here's 4 platinum. We're good to go.
And he looks at that and he says, right. And then he turns to one of the crew, and you see that there's looks like there's 4 people that are crew on this ship. There's a half elf, 2 humans, and another halfling. And so he looks to the half elf and he says, cook, go get some extra food. And he gives him a platinum and says, just go get some extra food so that we can feed our passengers, and get something nice for everybody. And so he says, oh, right, boss. And the halfling says, we leave in 15 minutes, and I'm leaving without you if you're not back. And so he says, right, got it. And he tears off down the dock. And in about 10 minutes, he comes back with a large, a couple of large sacks. And there's, you can see like there's some cured meat coming out of the sack, and there's also some loaves of bread in the sacks. And you can, as he gets closer, you can like smell onions and stuff like that. So he's got plenty of different things. And then he goes and he stows those over there. And there is a small area at the back of the boat where the looks like a little enclosed cabin area. And when the half elf gets back, the halfling is looking at the coins in his hand, looking at his crew, and says, "All right, fellas, here's the deal. We're sleeping outside with the horse. I've got 3 platinum here that says we're sleeping outside with the horse. Get used to it, and I'll make it up to you on the trip back from Yartar."
Oh my god!
Falasier puts a big old bag around Rusty's hindquarters, and that way he doesn't just take massive craps all over the deck.
Okay.
Also, Fallinger, if you needed the money for his food, I had it. But my God, that's just give him the 4 platinum and treat us like kings. And I'll tell you later tonight when we're in our bunks. Apparently, when we're in the nice bunks of the ship, how I got the platinum.
Yeah, they well, as you go and stow your gear, you find that this is crew quarters, and this is a river boat, so the bunks are really more like hammocks, but they're they're enough space. It's kind of small because this is not a large ship by any means, and there's a so you guys have the 4 hammocks that the crew would be in, and the captain, he goes and he puts some items in his quarters, and he locks them up, and then he goes back up on the deck. And so the captain has the quarters on one side of the back of the ship, and the other side is for the crew. And so then do you guys stay down in the deck, or do you go back, or stay down in the quarters, or do you go back up?
Well, before we all go back up, I sit there and want to tell everybody, it's like, okay, guys, I know you're probably like, where the hell did Thaldor come up with 4 platinum? Let me explain. So when I was doing the job before we got to Waterdeep, to find out where in the caravan porter's office, writing writs and doing paperwork the wrong way, should I say? And she sit there and literally handed me 4 platinum as a tip. So we know they've got money, but that money to me was dirty money. It's better off in these people's hands. I know that sounds crazy coming from me, dirty money, but I'd rather them put it to good use and take care of us on our trip than just holding on to it. So don't worry about the cost of it. It's good. They can do better with it than we could. I'm fine with that. I don't know if that upsets y'all, but I think it works just fine for the group.
I mean, it's your money. I just thought it was funnier shit to see his face when old Rusty was walking down the dock.
Pretty funny, but his eyes got wide when the 4 platinum coins hit his hand too.
Oh, right. And so the ship pulls out of the harbor, gets to the mouth of the river, and heads up the river. And with that, we will go ahead and take our break. I have 42 after the hour, so let's go ahead and come back at 50 after the hour. So we'll take a little bit shorter break, but we'll come back at 50 after the hour, and we will resume with the session. Chat, I'm going to put some music on, and I'll put a little countdown on, and we will be back shortly.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know why the hell I chose the name Rusty. It was just the first thing that came to my mind, and I spit it out. So Falazure and his
Pretty
horse
good.
named Rusty.
That's pretty good, Ken. That's pretty good. No,
They call him Rusty because he's one of our prize stallions. And when you get on and ride him, he makes you feel like a rusty rider.
Also, the color's not too far from rust as well.
Yeah.
when Gally did that, I could not help but bust out laughing when Gally was like, "Yeah, guys, we're sleeping outside on the deck." It's like, what?
No, you can. You definitely picked that picture because the donger, though, right?
The what?
Donger.
The donger. What do you mean?
Rusty pipe.
No.
He's a stallion. Donger.
I mean, look at the picture, bro. He's got that fucking donger hanging out.
Well, I mean, that's the way horses look. I mean, stallions look
I
like
don't-
that.
I've ever seen a stallion with his dick hanging out like that, brother. Come on.
What? That's not even. That's just in his sheath. What do you tell? He's not even like aroused.
No, I'm saying I've
Have
never.
you seen? Have you?
That-
Well,
That's
clearly-
yes, I have. From pictures, though, most pictures, like for example, you just Google it. Tell me how many pictures you can actually see the donger and a horse. Not very many, if any.
Right, but what Ken said, that thing's sheathed. That's not the full thing hanging out.
I'm very much aware.
he's just a big boy. He can't contain it all inside there. I guess I don't. No, it's just an Ardenian or Ardenaeus breed, and it was like the first one I saw, so I just posted it.
Yeah.
It is a pretty horse, though. But I couldn't imagine that. I think would be a beast to try to get on its back. God. I'm tall, but
It's a
that
war
thing
horse.
is tall.
It's actually a beast of burden horse. It's but I thought it'd be cool to, I don't know, character creation. I was like, oh, I like the way this breed looks. So
Hey,
I
I've
thought
seen
it'd
the
be a good war horse.
I've seen the place where they breed the Clydesdales for the Budweiser horses.
Uh-huh.
It's not far from where my wife's aunt lives, the guy that owns them. And he breeds them for, he sells them, but he breeds them also. He holds the horses for Budweiser. Them horses they make me.
You're lagging.
They look like the picture you just took, except they're a lot more furry around
Is
the
that right? Lagging bad? Do you hear that too?
Yeah, he's lagging.
You hear Gally do it as well?
Doris, close out your Divinity 2. You're lagging too goddamn hard.
I thought that was. Bad.
Hold on.
Yep.
There, is that better?
I mean, time will tell.
I closed Divinity. I didn't realize Divinity was still open.
I heard a full sentence, so that's a good start.
Okay.
We gonna play some Divinity later.
I've actually got a lot of stuff I got to do tomorrow, Ken. I'm going to go to bed tonight. I've got to clean up the rest of my yard. I got to finish cutting my yard. I hired a guy. I got to scrape up all this wood and stuff into a pile, and it's a bunch of shit. I got to go to court Tuesday because they're not going to come back out here. Codes ain't going to come back out here before Tuesday. So that I can get, so they'll leave me alone pretty much.
Mike, was it you or was it?
Who? Who's
Codes
bothering you?
Codes.
Oh.
Or the department that works for the city like I do, but they're
I got you.
ordinance people.
Mike, was it you that sent all the pictures of your new house, or was that Wes? Am I confused?
I think that was me.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was you or Wes.
That was me. Yeah, my house burnt down last year, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That was you. Okay, cool.
We just got back into our house in August.
So you're not from Tennessee, right?
No, I am. I'm in Nashville.
You got hit by that bad storm last year or 6 months ago or whatnot, right?
I was downtown working when the tornado came through. It barely missed where I work by like a half a mile. Real close to where I worked. Well, I work downtown, but what I'm saying is the shop that we work out of, the tornado was literally less than a mile from where we was.
Yeah, that shit was scary.
It was creepy, freaky, but it was insane. I mean, if it would have came less than half a mile south, it would have hit my shop. But no, I mean, it's not only did we get hit with that, and then not only was it a couple months later we get hit with COVID, and that screwed up this year. I mean, one thing or another.
Somebody
5 gold. I'll tell Gally when he gets back. I took 5 gold out of my inventory to help pay for breakfast and dinner and stuff and drinks.
So you guys got platinum in your inventory, right? Other than the 4 that you just handed over?
No. I just had 4.
I got 5 platinum. I don't know where it's from. I can't remember. We've been playing so long now but I have 5. So you guys should have 5 too. Oh, it could have been. It might have been from the start of the campaign as well. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah. Remember, you guys had the option to hand down stuff from your other character, either wealth or items. So
That's right. I took items, so that's what happened.
I can't believe you guys forgot I had a horse.
I did. And when you said that, my thing is this: what are we going to do with him when we get him there, Ken? I really want to know about that.
He'll be fine. It's part of my backstory. He can hold his own out in the wilderness if he needs to. It's not like we're going anywhere crazy.
I mean, I can gather food for 5, so he's included in that. That's our 5th. We can stay alive anywhere, basically.
yeah, horses are grazing animals, so you really wouldn't need to get food for the horse as long as they're I believe that's intended to be for it's that you would need little things for that.
You sound like you're one of the races in a Star Wars episode.
You were breaking up pretty bad for a minute, Gally. Is that storm coming near you or something?
No, it went past us. Okay, let me go ahead and stop the music and put us back on the Roll20 map. Okay, so you all head out with the good captain, and you head up the river, and boy, life on the river is pretty fine on this little boat. What did we call this boat? We called it the Current Seeker. The Current Seeker has a single sail and kind of a very wide, shallow draft. And the captain and the crew are very skilled at catching the wind. And even when both the current and the wind are kind of against the boat, they can make good time upriver by tacking along, but most days they make a nice steady pace going up the river. And this this river Desserin is a wide river with a fairly steady current. And you get up to about this, you cross this trail, the road that goes between Red Larch and Seacomber. You cross that on the third day. And there is a little town there. Um, it's just a kind of basically it's a crossroads type of town. It's got an inn that has a dock, and it's got a roadhouse there and uh, a few buildings and a warehouse. And then there's some outlying farms on either side of the river that make up this little postage stamp type of town. And he does stop there. So now, are you all intending to keep going as far as Stonebridge?
Gally, I got a question. You said the town of Seacomber. That's down a different river down to the south. Is that, am I mistaken?
No, that's correct. What I said is you cross the road that runs between Red
Oh,
Larch
the road. Okay, gotcha.
and Seacomber. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we discussed, right? We were just gonna take the river, kind of get off and near the stone bridge,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Guys? Okay.
And
We
that's
know-
what I understood you to say, but I wanted to let you know where he's stopping in case you guys, and that there is a road there in case you guys decided you wanted to.
Were we able to pinpoint the exact location of where these cultists are? Are they at the town or are they camped somewhere else? Do we know?
No, you didn't really ask.
Or we're just okay.
You just presumed I think you guys presumed that they were going to head up the up the road from Waterdeep. And something to be aware of at this point in the timeline. What you should be aware of is you should be aware that the coast road does not exist at this time. So just to sort of this road along here is out of commission. The reason is twofold. The reason is that this mountain up here, Mount Hotenau, that exploded and pretty much destroyed the town of Neverwinter, which is, people have said they're going to rebuild it, but they've been saying that for decades and nothing has happened. And because the city was pretty much left in ruins, there's not much reason to travel between Waterdeep and Neverwinter by that road. And this Mere of Dead Men is a swamp that it's like some years it grows larger, some years it grows smaller. And with the road not being used, it just eventually has swallowed the entire road there. So this north road, or this road along the coast, gets just a few miles outside of Waterdeep, and it just sort of ends. So you know that if they were headed north out of the city, they would be having to go by this trade, or what they call the long road, which goes up here. The trade road is the road that was on the coast, but the long road is the road that goes around inland.
If I could, while we're on the boat, I want to use my wanderer background to fish to gather food for everybody. But also, while I'm fishing, I want to kind of keep an eye on the banks or bank, whatever side I'm looking at, and look out for signs of travel.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you make me a. Well, no, it's you don't even have to roll with your wanderer thing. It's just something that you do. So yeah, you're able to catch plenty of fish, um, and because you have that wanderer feature, um, you can have a few conversations with the crew, and you figure out what the best bait is to catch the tastiest kind of fish. So, in addition to the stuff that the cook bought in Waterdeep and what they already had, um, he can do a lot of nifty things with these fish. And, he uh, grills them and he bakes them and he fries them. And he's got different kinds of spices and stuff for him. And then, of course, there's the dried meats and the cheeses and the bread and everything that he has, and the vegetables that he bought. So you all eat well on this trip.
And
Go ahead.
oh, just Valazur, he picks at his guitars kind of most of the journey, off and on, just playing music. How's the weather been on the trip?
Well, that's the thing. It's kind of unusual because you left Baldur's Gate in the late spring, and you traveled through the spring into the early summer, and the day that you left Waterdeep was actually Flame Rule the First. Flame Rule is like the first month that is considered to be part of the summer. And so you expect the summer in this part of the world to be hot by day and to be, warm at night, warmer obviously than the winter. And you also expect it to be the rainy season. But within a couple of days out of Waterdeep, you notice some things. Brock, as you're watching along the sides of the river, you notice that the foliage, um, obviously the grass and the foliage that's right at the edge of the river is nice and green because it's, kind of absorbing water from the river. But you notice that a little further back, the foliage seems a little bit wilted. Um, and you notice that the days get hot, and a couple of times the crew comments that the days are even hotter than they would expect for this time of year. But then when the sun goes down, um, it gets frigid at night. And in fact, there's nights when a fog will form over the river, and when the fog forms, they will, um, or when they realize that fog is forming, they will carefully get the boat over to the near the edge of the river, and they will stop it. They will stop the boat. They won't travel at night when there's a fog because they can't see anything. And you wake up like on the morning of the third day. You wake up and it's actually gotten so cold at night that there's actually frost on the edges of the boat where the fog has kind of clung to the edges of the boat. And that is really unusual and very unexpected for this time of year. And the crew, who of course are having to sleep outside because the captain made them give up their quarters for the paying passengers, they are very cold. Um, because it's on a boat, and the boat is wooden, and so you can't really build a fire on the deck. So the when they have a chance, they will run inside to where the cook is cooking breakfast, and they'll try to warm up by the stove. But then, of course, by the second or third hour of the morning, it's starting to get really hot, and the cook has almost stripped all the way down to a loincloth because he's got to be in the galley with the stove, and it's really, really hot in there. So definitely there's something unusual with the weather, according to these folks. But like I said, by the third day, or on the third day, you pass this little town. And so the question remains, do you all intend to stay on the boat? Do you want to get off the boat at this town? What do you want to do?
Is it Golden Fields we're passing?
Golden Fields is on that road, but you're actually right here on the river where the river crosses the road.
Get off and do some questioning.
Brock, I think Brock's going to actually travel down each side of the road from the town and investigate the road tracks, looking for passing of caravans and whatnot, obviously.
Okay. All right.
Mulek will follow. Mulek will follow after Brock. He'll join Brock.
Okay. If you guys are going to be getting off the boat, the captain will say, friends, if you're planning to travel as far as Stonebridge, we'll be casting off. I'm hoping to cast off in a couple of hours. You paid me a lot of money, but especially with this heat, I'm concerned that if I delay too much, the cargo I have for Yartar might start to spoil. So
we'll be back shortly.
Okay. All right. Try to be back in 2 hours. And so this is going to be on Flame Rule the third. I'm going to put on here. Leave. Water Deep. Flame Rule 1. Reach the crossroad on Flame Rule 3. Okay. So you are going to head east down that road, you said, or west?
I'm planning to peak about, let's say, 100 yards or so on each side. So I'll go 100 yards one way, then travel back. If I don't find anything, 100 yards the other way.
Okay.
And I'll send Casper out to kind of assist.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll me perception checks, and since this would be visual perception, I think Casper gets advantage on these.
We want to roll once for each side, or just one altogether?
You can roll once for each side. Just tell me which one is which. Oh, wow.
There.
Okay. Which way did you go first?
The east or southeast.
Okay, southeast. Yeah, with a 23 going southeast, you can tell that there has been some wagon traffic. There certainly hasn't been a large caravan through here in any recent time. You would estimate there's probably been half a dozen wagons in the last, 4 or 5 days total. So hasn't been a whole lot come through here.
Can I tell which direction they're traveling?
It looks like some of them are coming towards the river, and some of them are going away from the river. And with your 23, you can tell most of them are like single horse wagons, so they're probably like farmer wagon.
Mostly just along the road, nothing on the side of the roads or anything.
Correct. The only thing you notice off the side of the roads is, like I said, the vegetation is a little wilted and drier than you would expect it.
The reason I asked is before we know that there was goblins or kobolds or whatever that was traveling alongside the caravan. So
yeah, you don't notice any tracks, and with your 23, you see occasionally like human-sized boots will go off the river or will go off the road, but they usually go off the road like in a direction of a tree or something. Like somebody's either going to rest in a shade or maybe gonna go piss on a tree or something like that.
Gotcha. I'll travel back across the bridge and check the other side. Same thing.
Okay.
Back.
Yep. And it's about the same. Now there's a little bit more traffic between the river and Red Larch, because Red Larch is a slightly larger town, and also Golden Fields is there. But you would estimate that maybe in the last few days there's been maybe a total of 10 or 12 wagons, but there's nothing that looks like it was a caravan of wagons coming. And it seems like, again, some of those wagons were coming towards the river, some of them are going away from the river.
Nothing that seems to be going extra deep into the mud or the road.
Nope.
Gotcha.
And same thing with the vegetation here. There's some it's drier than usual, and the only tracks off of the road are like boot tracks that look like they're headed towards a tree that's near the road or something like that.
Mulek seems we're good as far as I can tell.
Okay. So now, Mulek, that's a perception. I presume that's for you, but what about for Casper? And remember, I think he gets advantage on his perception checks.
Yeah, he was first, 10 and 8. So I didn't see anything that Brock didn't already see.
Okay. I didn't even see him up there. Yeah. All right. So yeah. Yeah, you take his word for it. So then you guys just head back to the boat and wait for him to be done. And
as we're walking back, there's like a casual conversation about if Casper enjoys fish or not. We'll say.
I don't know. Not really sure. Casper seems to subsist on very little for some reason.
Interesting.
Well, he is a fey creature, and he's also a bird of prey.
Yeah, this was like a thing that it was kind of like just a wipe scene that I was going to put out there. Brock doesn't understand, but it's kind of like a funny thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know if Mulek has ever even tried to offer Casper any fish.
Casper just seems to take care of himself. He's pretty independent. He's never lacked for energy. So
yeah.
I need to find me a dog like that. If you know anything, let me know.
Sure thing. Like I said, I'm working on it.
All right. So you get back to the river, and at the end of a couple of hours, the captain is done. And as you keep going up to the north, the fourth day passes uneventfully. Then on the fifth day, as you come around one of the bends in the river, you notice sort of off to you guys are traveling north, so off to the west, which would be to the starboard side or the right hand side of the boat, you see a small castle that is sitting up on a bluff. And you can see that this castle looks kind of ramshackle, with the exception that there is a white banner with a blue gauntlet flying above the castle. The Desserin River is about a half mile wide at this point. Then there are walls that come down to the water's edge, and it's sort of like a natural harbor there. And you see that there are a couple of boats and a short, squat tower. Now, the thing you notice about some of the walls that are down by the river, and some of the walls up on the bluff, is that they look like they are old and kind of crumbling. But there's also some places you can see where clearly, very recently, new stonework has been added. And that banner that's flying above the small little keep, that looks like it's relatively new.
I know I'm a little bit far from home, but would I recognize that banner?
Let me see.
Yeah, Mulek is close to home, so would Mulek also know?
Okay. Let me do this. And then let's do this. Yeah. Okay. Give me a. Trying to figure out what would. Yeah, I guess the closest thing would be a history check, because they don't have like a knowledge check.
Can I say that I'm standing next to Mulek when I look at this, and I kind of have I'm standing next to him with my hand around the opposite shoulder, and I point it out and say, "What do you make of that? Can I give him advantage instead of rolling myself?"
Well, you would have to roll, and if you get a 10 or better, then you could give him advantage.
Okay, I give him advantage.
Okay, so you can roll again on your history and see if you get better than a 16.
It's his part of the world. Let's go. Okay.
Okay. 16 and 16. There's something about it that definitely looks familiar, partially. The gauntlet that is on the banner looks a bit like the gauntlet that you see in the kind of the heraldry of the Order of the Gauntlet, which is one of the main factions that operates in the Sword Coast. But that symbol is a gauntlet holding the blade of a sword. And this is just the gauntlet itself without the sword. So that's a little unusual. So it kind of looks familiar to you, Mulek, but the fact that part of the symbol seems to be missing makes you wonder whether it's, is this some sort of offshoot group or is it something completely different that you haven't?
Yeah, this is very something. Something doesn't seem right. Something similar. Something's a little off. Not really sure, Brock.
Judging by the rebuilt walls, someone new has taken place or taken hold of this settlement here.
Do we know how far away we are from the Somber Hills?
Oh, you're going right through the Somber Hills.
Oh, these are the Somber Hills.
These are the Somber Hills, yeah. The Somber Hills go from, on your map here, the northern edge of the Somber Hills is up here. The southern edge of the Somber Hills is down here. And the Stone Bridge is there's kind of a natural valley in between the two groups of the Somber Hills, and the Stone Bridge goes across the river at that point. And there's a town. It's actually two towns, but they call it one town because it's at the base of either end of the stone bridge, and there's docks on either side, and it's kind of a sizable town. It's like the biggest town between Waterdeep and Yartar is there at Stonebridge.
So Brock, seeing that we're in the Somber Hills, and this is something that looks fairly new, we may want to take a closer look. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is related or not.
Telling you from my experience, somebody new has taken hold of this settlement. Whether that's good or bad, that's yet to be seen, but maybe it's worth looking into. That's your call.
And the captain of the captain of the boat, Captain Osner, he sees you guys over there, and then he walks over and he says, "Huh, would you look at that? Well, it's the first time I've seen a banner up there since I've been on these waters. I've always heard that Riverguard Keep was haunted."
What do you know about that banner?
Well, if it had the sword, I would say it looks like Order of the Gauntlet, but without the sword, I don't know. I've never seen that before.
Hey, Thaldor.
Sure. What's up?
You remember back in the woods with that elk that spoke to us? I remember he mentioned something about a river of gold and something about a castle in the sky. And there's this castle over there. I wonder if this could be what it was referring to.
Possibly castle, sky. It's a euphemism, but I mean, yeah, I mean it fits. I mean, maybe the people that we know are using this as a hideout, maybe, and then trying to disguise themselves as this order that you're talking about.
Would Falazure recognize this gauntlet symbol since he carries a gauntlet symbol?
No.
Okay.
Wouldn't. If he had a high enough roll, he would think the same thing as the captain and as Mulek, that it looks a lot like the Order of the Gauntlet, but
Right.
clearly part of the symbol is missing.
Looking at this castle, is there any illusion that would make it look like it's a castle in the sky?
Not really. It's kind of a as you guys look at this, and I'll just say between you all, your varied backgrounds, and then the captain might toss in something too. It looks like there's a natural formation where part of the bluff that is on either side of the river many hundreds or thousands of years ago, part of it had collapsed and left like a little natural cove. And it looks like somebody had in olden days built a little keep at the top of the bluff inside that cove, and then put some walls up coming down to the river. It just sort of made that a little defensible little thing. So maybe at some point there was like a minor noble or somebody that had that there, but according to the captain, it's had a rumor of being abandoned and has always, has not. He's never seen it in this kind of shape, but he's notices the new construction the same way you do. And then he says, "Huh, well, if it was haunted, I wonder if a bunch of adventurers cleared it out and now have claimed it as their stronghold."
I'm going to have Casper take a gander, fly up, stay within, or stay without reach of arrows as much as possible, just to fly really high up over that keep and see if it sees wagons and humanoids wearing cultist cloaks. And I will, as much as it could possibly conceptualize that, and then come back to me and report.
Okay. Well. So he gets up there and he flies around, and he notices some humans, and there are some humans that are standing on top of a tower, one of the low towers there, and they appear kind of bored. They're not really paying that much attention to the river. They're kind of talking amongst themselves, and there's a couple of people that he sees working on part of a wall. They look like laborers that are there making repairs to a parapet at the top of one of the walls. And there's a building that might be stables, but there's not, there's no large number of wagons or large number of animals around.
Well, other than a few humanoids, there doesn't appear to be a whole lot going on over there. Nothing like wagon loads. Didn't seem to appear to be any cultists around, so I don't know if this is what we're looking for.
I mean, are there any records of this town being taken over?
I don't know.
And The captain says. Let's see. Okay. The captain says that no, he says well, there's legends, of course, that go all the way back to what was it? Belsmere, something like that. Long time ago, 1,000 years ago or so, there were some dwarves that had a civilization that was in and around the Somber Hills here, and they had a few strongholds here and there. And I think somebody said that I think I heard somewhere that this was something that they had built, but most of what they had created, you know, long since crumbled to dust. They abandoned it for some reason. Don't know why, but the place had a reputation of being haunted. And now the fact that it's lasted this long, probably there's been people that lived here after the dwarves left, and then eventually they left too for whatever reason. But now it looks like somebody's back in, living back there now.
Captain, let me ask you this. You travel this road often, correct?
Yeah. I probably go back and forth to Yartar, maybe 4 or 5 times a season.
Used to seeing those walls crumpled?
Oh yeah, they've been crumbled as long as the. What's different is that banner and the new construction. Haven't seen that.
So those walls weren't destroyed in an attack. They were just its old use.
Oh yeah. Well, now if you're asking me if it's ever been attacked and any of that damage was from an attack, if it was an attack a lot longer than I've been on the river, because it's always looked crumbled to me.
So walls weren't destroyed in an attack recently. It's just the rebuilding that's happened recently.
Yeah.
So reclaim this settlement. So be it.
Yeah.
How far are we from the stone bridge?
You'll get there on the 7th day, so 2 more days.
Well, I don't reckon we investigate that castle. What do y'all think?
I think we continue on, but if need be, we come back here.
I think someone's reclaimed a lost territory. That's what I think. I think we're good to travel forward.
Yeah, I don't think this would be our plan A.
Well, we're technically in the stone. What is the Stone Hills?
That's a good point you
Some
bring
hills.
up. I didn't think about that before until you just mentioned it. Actually, it just hit me. It could it be them? We don't that close though, do we?
Yeah, I mean we're in the Somber Hills, but I don't know if we want to get off and check this out now or continue on and see if there's something clearly that clearly identifies something that is what we're looking for. And if we don't, we could always come back.
Well, if I was a cult heading in a certain direction, I would look for somewhere that's halfway built, so I only have to do half the work. Do any of you guys recognize that coat of arms? I don't.
I'll take a look at it.
Beats me.
All I know is it's a little bit different than what I'm used to seeing.
Likewise.
I would say if it's something we don't recognize, that's pretty hard to come by considering we're across all the world between the 5 and 4 of us. If it's something we don't recognize, maybe it's worth looking into.
Yeah, Faldor with a 14. You don't recognize it any more than the others do.
Again, that cult / caravan or whatever. Where were they headed again? They were headed. Were they going further north
They're north, yeah.
than the Stone Bridge?
Well, hold on. What you knew is they were headed to Waterdeep. So you went with them as far as Waterdeep. Then you saw them take the wagons and put the wagons with a bunch of what looked like other cult wagons in warehouses near the north gate. And then you heard a rumor that the Black Dragonborn, maybe the same one that you had seen down at the cult encampment, had ridden north a 10-day before you guys arrived in Waterdeep. So I don't think you ever asked around or made any inquiries where they were headed beyond.
I think I did.
The only thing we heard was from the guy at the bar that we were talking to. The guy that had the sword. He said they were heading north. That's all he said, I believe.
I heard something about Mirabar. I thought we interrogated somebody or.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so if you did, then yeah, you may have heard of Mirabar. Okay, that's right, because you did interrogate a few people.
So we.
At some point.
Can you remind us?
Yeah, there was something about the cult taking treasure to Mirabar.
Oh yeah.
So Mirabar, obviously, for those of you, is way up here.
It's actually good.
It's far, far to the north of Yartar. If you guys went to Yartar, or if you guys went to the Stone Bridge, and then you wanted to check, you could then get to the road, find out whether you were ahead or behind the caravan, obviously based on the tracks, and then either if they haven't passed that way, you would know to go south towards Red Larch. If they had, then you kind of could follow it north.
As a side note, if it comes to that, we could take this river all the way to Lurkwood, which gives us cover right next to Mirabar, if we can talk the captain into it, but that's besides the point.
But as far as we know about this region from the kid was that there was strange weather up here and strange monsters and what else?
Yeah, monsters had attacked and people had gone missing.
So
I think Mirabar was them throwing us off the scent. I think they said they were going towards Mirabar, but I don't think they were going all the way up there. Something about that doesn't seem right.
If you look at the road north to Waterdeep, the road goes straight to Mirabar. So that makes sense. But we're trailing the caravan, so this new thing popping up with all the strange things going on, that kind of makes sense to me anyway.
Based on the travel and their speed, how many days do we feel that we're probably ahead of that caravan? We're only 2 days out, right? No, wait.
No,
5 days?
Now you're,
we don't know exactly.
They were 2 days ahead.
We know that the Dragonborn was had left a while ago. We don't know. We don't know the caravans.
Correct. You don't know when the caravan was leaving Waterdeep because you didn't stick around to see if they were mustering that morning and leaving or not. There was no investigation of any of that, so you don't know how long they're staying in Waterdeep before they're heading out.
So they didn't head out before us? I thought he had a 10-day lead on us.
Wait a minute.
Okay, no, listen. 2 different
I am
things.
listening.
Okay. The caravan you came with arrived in Waterdeep the same time you did. So the dragonborn that was seen leaving north 10 days earlier did not arrive with the caravan. Obviously arrived a
He's
lot
got a
earlier.
few-day lead on us.
That
Right.
particular person and the riders that he was with or she was with do have a lead on you. The caravan, as far as you all know, was still in Waterdeep when you got on the boat and left Waterdeep.
We're worried about the
Yeah.
Dragonborn.
Exactly.
We
So,
left the caravan to chase the Dragonborn. So do we know the speed of this boat versus a caravan? Can we gauge that?
The boat normally would probably make better time than the caravan because obviously it doesn't have to stop to water the horses, and it doesn't. Now, in good weather, it wouldn't have to stop for the night, but with the fog on the river, it is having to stop for the night. So, so there's, you're doing a few things, and this map is not to scale, so don't try to use the map to know the scale of anything. So,
Well, boys, I guess we have to decide.
yeah.
Do we want to investigate this here, Somber Hills, or do we want to kind of do what we said we were going to do? Get off at Stone Bridge, cross over, or get on the road and start heading north, or what?
Yeah, see, as a military man, if a new banner pops up and no one recognizes it, especially us four that's across the world.
That should send a red flag. Yeah.
I think they left someone to watch their backs, is what I'm guessing. Now, we could detect that that's not going to be our goal. Our goal is to catch the Dragonborn, if I'm not mistaken. So that could just alert whoever to our presence.
No, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. They said he left for a 10-day going north, but we don't know that he spent his whole trip going up north. He could have stopped somewhere, stayed, and then come back to make sure.
No, he didn't leave for a 10-day.
He left 10 days earlier.
Waterdeep 10 day ago.
Yeah.
He went on and has not come back. So don't get that into
Yeah, we have no idea where the Dragonborn is. All we know is that he left 10 days before we got there.
Heading north.
And we see this castle that's got a new banner. And I have a feeling we're ahead of the cultist caravan that we could, if this ends up being a dry hole, we could probably stake out the road and find that cultist wagon going north and pick up the scent there. Regardless, my feelings is we need to stay, whatever we do, if we end up not finding anything here, we need to make sure we can catch up or head off that wagon so that we can tail it to wherever it's going.
Well, we know where it's going because I used a spell for the guy that told us where it was going. It's going to Mirabar.
Yeah, roads go straight to Mirabar. Now, if you were under orders of a dragon, you're not going to stop and make camp. I wouldn't anyway. So I would say that these are his fodder. We can waste the time there. Maybe we can find something. Maybe we won't. But I think eventually we're going to have to get this captain to take us to the Lurkwood. That's as far as the river goes. That's the closest to Mirabar we can get.
I don't think. Hey, Captain.
Yes?
Do you ever go all the way up north to Lurkwood and the tributaries of the river?
Oh, no. Farthest I go normally is Yartar. I've been up as far as the River Serban and going to Nesme over by the Evermoors. I've been up there once or twice, but there's some rough water, and the river gets some rapids that are not terribly dangerous, but a little bit dangerous, and so it's usually not worth the risk to the boat to go up that far.
Do you think this vessel's capable of making it to Lurkwood, Captain? We will
Capable
pay.
of making it
We
to
will
the
pay you
Lurkwood?
well. We will pay you well if you can do this. Yes.
To the Lurkwood? Ah. Well, I suppose. I suppose it could, but you know, there's you get up past Yartar and you start to get into some real wild country, and there's all kinds of griffins and other creatures and everything up there that I don't know. I would not be inclined to go up there for much. Now, back in the days when Mithril Hall was a stronghold of the dwarves,
All hail King Brunner.
yeah, then everything was very very well protected. The river was patrolled and everything, but that's been a long time ago.
What? Side note, like what happened to Mithril Hall? And
It's,
what tribe of dwarves was up there?
That's kind.
Yeah, it's been well, what hasn't? It's probably better to say what hasn't happened to Mithril Hall. I mean, it's been attacked by orcs. It's had incursions from the Underdark. It's fought.
It's one of the main plot points in the main series Dritz of Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
You can Google it. Tons of information about it.
Yeah.
It's like a hot spot. It's like one of the main capitals of the continent.
There's all kinds of legends about Mithril Hall.
What is something that Falazir might have heard all the way in to hear about it?
Oh,
the dragon?
Well, he's probably heard of the hero Brunor Battlehammer. I mean, he's one of the most famous dwarves. Lots of bards sing stories about him, and the crazy dark elf ranger that he ran around with. So he's probably heard some stories about them.
Well, boys, we could just stop in Yartar, gather some information, let the captain do his business, and then go up north if we need to. And I don't know anything about Lurkwood, but I'm sure we could find a path cutting through it or something. Or we could go around it back to the main road and...
Listen, Captain, if you can keep the ship afloat, we can protect the ship. Don't be worried about that.
Well, can I ask where you're ultimately bound? Do you want to go someplace within the Lurkwood, or
as far as you can take us, if possible?
I mean, it's also possible we could go up there, up the river near Long Saddle and shoot across there and join the road there. I mean, that's an option.
The ship's going to travel faster than we can on foot. You only got one horse. It's not going to carry all of us.
Oh, you can buy horses in Yartar. There's plenty of horses there. Good stables, and good breeders that'll sell nice, well-trained riding horses and draft horses, and you probably even find a war horse or two there.
The river.
Only thing about going to Yartar and cutting over back to the road, we'd lose time. If we can get closer to Long Saddle, we could hike over to Long Saddle, then head up, or go through Lurkwood and head over. It's just you got many options looking at this map.
I mean, we don't know shit about Lurkwood. I don't know if unless we could find some maps of it or something or a way through, but as far as the main maps go, it doesn't show any way through there.
If you just go north, you hit a river. If you can hit that river, you've gone far enough, right? I think it's a non-discreet way to travel. If we travel the road, we're going to be seen. It's safer.
I mean, define safe, my friend.
I mean, travel along the Rhone is about as dangerous as you can get.
I mean, I don't know about you, but have you ever seen a griffin?
Yeah.
Then you know that they are preferred by certain knights and paladins as war mounts, and they are quite effective.
Like a griffin over a dragon any day, friend.
I agree with him on that one.
And I want to get back to what we learned in the Yawning Portal. That kid may have been young, but he had good ears, and he heard a lot of corroborating stories about people missing, things going on in these hills where we're at right now. Now, that's something that we can feel fairly confident that there's something bad going on in this area. And we've been told, or we know, that the cultists were headed towards Mirabar, but we have no idea that's where Rezmir headed to. For all we know, he could be here doing some stuff, causing problems.
So that DM question.
That's pretty random.
Here's the DM question. Gally,
Right.
what is the true travel distance from Waterdeep to Mirabar?
The true travel distance from Waterdeep to Mirabar.
Like it's about as far as from Baldur's Gate to
It's gonna be like
Waterdeep.
It's gonna be like a month.
Yeah, it's like
More than a month.
40 days.
Okay.
40 days by road.
I don't think they went to or I don't think that's their plan to go to Mirabar.
Well,
They were heading
or maybe not right now. But one thing we do know, and I feel confident on, is there's something going on in these hills that may lead us to more answers.
We know they're heading north, and Mirabar, the roads that lead through the land, and the town that's at the end of that road, I believe that's where they're going to stop. That's their next stop. I believe that.
Red Larch is the next town on the way from Waterdeep to going up the river before the stone bridge. I mean, are they in these hills? Are they doing something? I mean, what's up? I mean, do we want to get off here and see what we can find and maybe get a better lead, or just keep going to Yartar?
I think our friend here's got the right idea. I think Mirabar is our next destination. It's all about how we want to get there. If we want to waste our time going to this fallen castle, I mean, there's only a few types of people or things that would take over a fallen castle. So
We might be able to call me crazy, but we might just be able to get ahead of that Black Dragonborn if that's where he's headed or she's headed.
yes,
But by traveling with the river.
I think so.
But again, it's a big gamble. Are we sure that that's where Rezmir is headed to right now and not stopping?
I mean, you guys. I mean, out of character, you guys were there when I used a suggestion spell, and the guide told us.
And we're looking at a map, and it's kind of fairly obvious. If you're going north, that's the way you're going, right? You got the glacier up ahead, so you're going to have to hang a right. That's like, it just makes sense if you look at the lay of the land.
Well, that's where that boy said that they were going with all the treasure. So I believe it's true.
I would just hate to take that long of a trip to be that they stop somewhere along the road or further south than that.
Hate to lose our boat and be stuck in the ass crack of the Somber Hills.
You know, they're heading north. Surely they're not going out to sea. So if they're not going to Mirabar directly, they're going through Mirabar eventually.
And as you guys are talking, there's a panicked cry from the front of the boat. And one of the human crewmen is standing at the boat pointing in front of the boat and yelling, Captain Osner, look out! And you all turn and look, and you see in front of the boat, maybe somewhere around 100 feet in front of the boat, you see what looks like a whirlpool starting to open in the middle of the boat. And then the captain says, drop the sail, head towards the shore, quick. And or I guess he wouldn't say drop the sail. He'd say man the sail, head towards the shore. And so somebody's on the tiller in the back and starts, hauling the boat hard to the, let's say hard to port. So going towards the left, going towards the edge of the river. And then one of the crewmen says, Captain, and points behind the boat. And you guys turn, and you see 3 boats coming up the river. Now, by this time, you all have passed that keep, and so they are coming from behind you. And one boat is large and has about has a number of oars on either side that are pulling it towards you. There are 2 smaller flat bottom boats that have about 3 or 4 people each in it. And standing at the bow of the larger boat is a figure that is I need to get a.
Can I see them with my eyes of the eagle?
Okay, you see them with the eyes of the eagle? Okay.
The advantage on perception checks.
Yes, you see a fellow that is standing on the bow of the boat, and this fellow looks like something out of a nightmare. He he's holding a trident in his right hand, and actually no, he's holding a trident in his left claw. His left arm comes down to about the elbow, and below the elbow it looks like an enormous crab's claw. And his body, he's got like a loincloth wrapped around his waist, and it drapes down his legs. His body from the chest up to his head and covering an entire side of his face looks like it's covered with barnacles. And in his right hand, or with his right hand, he is pointing towards the river ahead of his boat, and it looks like he's casting some kind of spell.
What's his range from me?
The whirlpool is about 100 feet ahead of you, so they are between 150 and 200 feet behind the boat.
Got cast that almost 200 feet away? Jesus.
Well, I want to cast fog cloud between us and them.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
you can certainly do that, but I think what we will do is we will let you do that next week. We are going to go ahead and end our session here. Partly because you guys did something a little bit unexpected, and so um, I'm having to make a transition at a point I didn't think we were going to make a transition, and partly because we are reaching an inflection point in our story. So, when we come back next week, I will be giving the players an invitation. Between now and next week, I will be giving the players an invitation to a new Roll20 game. There is a way that Roll20 will allow me to move your characters from one game to another, so you all shouldn't have to do anything with your characters. I'm going to back up everything here, and I should be able to move your characters to the new game. Once I send you the invite to the new game, you can verify that they are all there and that everything looks like it's intact and in place. And we are going to pick up our tale with the Sword Coast Chronicles next Thursday at 8 p.m. And you will get to find out something about who this lovely person is and what his role in all of this nonsense might be.
This is getting good.
Ugh.
A whole another week. No.
Ugh.
All right. So, yes, Drats, a new game, as I mentioned to the players at the beginning of this campaign, and as I've probably said many times before, Sword Coast Chronicles is a love letter to the published 5th edition campaigns. And so there is a story of my own creation that has connective tissue to link the storylines from the published campaigns between each other. And you were getting near a point where there was one of those connections, and you now kind of zagged when I was expecting you to zig. And so we're going to go ahead and make the connection point here because it will work just as easily to do that here. So we will find out what's going on with Barnacle Guy and what's going on with this whirlpool and everything next week. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, viewers, for coming and hanging out with us this week. We hope you have enjoyed this session, and we hope you will enjoy our story going forward. And just to remind everybody, I believe it's 2 weeks from tonight is Thanksgiving, and I know that COVID world things are very different, but I'm not planning on running a game on Thanksgiving night. I figure there's enough people that will be spending time with their immediate families that it will be good to take that night off. So that's the plan. We will play next week unless people are doing traveling and will be gone next week. But is everybody planning to be here next week? As far as you know.
I am.
Yeah, I plan on it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll play next week. We will take Thanksgiving off, and then we will come back on the Thursday after Thanksgiving and resume our game. So this will be something fun. And I think that it's an easy enough. I actually have a bunch of stuff already set up. So the main thing I need to do is just migrate, which I think is actually a function of copying characters from one game to the next game. I think that's how it works in Roll20. And then making sure that you all come over to that game. All right. Well, everybody have a great week. Viewers, thank you again. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and we will see you all next week on the Sword Coast Chronicles. Session 23 will be next week. Good night, everybody.